Welcome back, my little recusants, to another episode of Final Fantasy 13. We may have done an awful lot of grinding. We basically did that little lap. I'll show it again now in this episode, but essentially all our characters' Crystariums are maxed out. So yeah, we have a lot more strength. We've been upgrading accessories. We've gone through and gotten all our role levels and all our accessories and all our extra bits and pieces, and yeah, everybody is looking pretty good. I mean, we nearly have over 1,000 with Vanille. Like, we're just under 1,000 with Vanille in Magic. Lightning was in the high 800s. Hope is over 1,000, but like, again, just showing you guys, you know, we've the stuff all got. Hope has even moved into Commando. He's learned some... That's why his stuff is at 0. He's moved a little bit into Commando. Has over 1,000. So he's learned Ruin. So he can actually paradigm shift into a level 1 Commando, which is quite cool. And I'm going in and out of menus because I'm just getting so excited. I'm like, oh yeah, better show them that we've gotten like new Brawler, you know, wristbands. We have like Shaman marks all leveled up to max. So like a level 1 is 50 and the max level is 120. So like a huge big boost there. And then we've also leveled up the Collector's Mark to star level. And we also gave her a Sorcerer's Mark. So like everyone is really stacked up on equipment, really stacked up on everything else. And the way I got there was literally just through this little route here. Just fight those guys, and if you look there, it took 13 seconds. Okay? But what? And then I kind of went, I don't know why I cut out that battle. I want to like show you guys the power level we are at. So with the two magic users, our two mages having reached Ravager heights, you can see that Hope is able to use Thundaga, just a massive AoE of like mass destruction, and their magic damage output is just through the absolute roof. Like again, 18 seconds is all it took to get through all of that, because we now have Thundaga, which is high damage, and literally we get a preemptive now, so watch how quick we get through this. Absolute chaos. So we can very clearly see that our characters have really leveled up quite a lot. But a little bit of a spoiler for later on this episode. Great stats does not make a very, you know, assured victory. But as you can see, like I just love the development of Hope, like insofar as he's just scared, timid character, and now he's literally lobbing maelstroms of lightning, just being like, yeah, take this, whatever else. And as you can see from that loot table, like this has been a great moneymaker, and like that's why I was able to upgrade so many of our accessories to like various different levels, because we just get so many different loot drops. And I never went further beyond the next encounter, which is basically another bunch of the little robot dudes, because I did it once off camera and it led into a big cinematic boss fight. So I was like, oh yeah, don't do that. I want to leave that for the camera. So without further ado, when we round this corner, this is basically where, you know, look, we've nearly 20,000. And we've also been leveling up the Blaze Fire Saber. Like, so it just was like to show you guys, yeah, there's loads of different things there. But like that's the run. Like if I had gone a bit more further, we would have had 20,000 easily in terms of crystallogen points, you know? And at this point, I'm like, okay, let's just move Lightning into an extra paradigm roll. And the role we're going to choose is Synergist. I kind of went for all the different pairs. So since Vanille spent the most time with Saz, and Saz's unique role was the Synergist, I was like, okay, yeah, we'll move Vanille into Synergist. And in a similar vein, Lightning spent the most time with Hope. So Hope's unique thing was the Synergist as well. And then similarly, Hope spent the most time with Lightning, so that's why he's getting Commando. And I mean, if we're going to go into the other ones, Snow spent the most time with Fang, so he's going to go into Saboteur. Saz spent the most time with Vanille, so he's going into Saboteur. And then Fang is tricky because she basically should have gone into Ravager, but I know for a fact that Fang has some of the best synergy abilities in the game, so I just put her in Synergist as well. And y'all could just sue me, I guess. I did it wrong. And just looking ahead, what am I doing? Oh yeah, changing paradigms. Just fixing up that Saboteur and hop over to Synergist on Hope, just so we can start buffing things up. And if I was clever, I could have put Lightning on Synergist as well, just to help boost that. But we have another fight with those lovely big machines, and by God, does this make me feel like I needed to, like, you know, take a moment and say I'm actually not as OP as I like to think that I am. Hope is pulling up those lovely buffs, but like Lightning should have been a medic, because we very much and very quickly end up getting trounced. Like, absolutely destroyed. And only for the fact that Vanille put on so many debuffs that it triggers his, you know, debuff removal protocol. Like, we would have just had a KO. And I leave it in because I win this fight and it isn't repeatable. So, but like, just because we've maxed out the Crystarium and are going into these different roles does not mean we can just take this all for granted. And with our salvation then, we need to go back to putting up our debuffs and buffs again. Or at the very least, keeping a medic on hand. Hope trying his best to heal up as and keep everyone healthy. But we need to start putting on those debuffs. And once again, we're in trouble again. Oh, we're in so much trouble. We're in so much trouble. Like, it's just so bad. And realistically, at these points in the game, I should have just been using my TP to renew. Like, that's where we're at right now. And we're literally just get them up with raise. I don't care what has to happen. We need to just keep everybody alive. And a simple one-hit renew could have swung the pendulum in our favor. And yeah, it's just getting really rough. And we're just in such a stalemate. It's like really bad. But like, Vanille and Hope with the Curaja abilities is just, it's showing the absolute strength of it. And luckily it is so weak to debuffs. And while it's debuffed, it'll go into like a steam clean protocol, which just gives us time to just apply these different buffs. So we literally need to just be throwing out heals, and then while he's buffing, try our best to get as much synergy as possible up. And that's like throwing your faith and braveries, getting your bar fires, getting your in fires, just getting everything you can. And like that, I'm now realizing, oh, I should have like put up Libra. But what's actually saving us now is purely the fact that we've moved around the back of him. And now it's only Hope and Vanille getting hit with those things, and Lightning's taking no damage, so it's less stressful. And like that, Vanille was getting one shot with that, so Protect doing absolute work. And then it's the case of, okay, let's just get someone on healing just to allow us the presence of mind to just literally have the bar fire up, have the... Like, Hope has barely any, so it's literally like, Hope, start buffing yourself, please. Give yourself bravery and faith, come on. And then the debuffing starts again, but now we're in such a better position now. It's like, we're only doing 300 points of damage, and then now we're back to diversity, keeping us all well in the green, and now we can finally do a big assault. You see a big strike there, doing tons of damage to all of us. But now it's like, oh, it's starting Steam Clean. If we can stagger it before it actually procs, then we can launch it, interrupting the Steam Clean and keeping on the debuffs there. Come on, get in the air. Yes. And with that, this boss is done, but it was by no means done in a prompt time. And in me just looking back over it with hindsight, it was like, yeah, Renew would have just completely changed that whole outcome. Just threw a massive AoE heal on everybody, even raised them, like it would have been grand. Even summoning could have been an option. But once again, we have another Seat Stone deactivated. So we're going to have to come back to here eventually when we're getting through all of our Seat Stone missions. And let me know in the comments if you guys would rather, I know we've gone through some of them, but like if it comes to like Seat Stone tidying up, would you rather just literally be like, right, Seat Stones 1 to 7, whatever ones are missing from like getting up to level 5 with them? Or do you want to even redo them again and just be like, you know, Seat Stone missions, this, and just have them all in a quick video and have it be like, this is when we're just finished chapter 11 or chapter whatever, and we're just going to have a one-stop list of all the different ones. Let me know what you guys think. I don't mind redoing them, just so we can have like a sample where you're like, okay, just go to the part of the playlist where I can just watch all the Seat Stones getting 5 stars, what strategies did you have, what paradigms did you use, who did you use, and whatever the case may be. But like, oh, all those drops, it's so good. All those little drops are just amazing. But yeah, and my only tip to recommend to you guys would just be buff your accessories and your weapons, because the more stuff you can have, like even for the point of view of, even if you're able to like put up accessories that give you resistance to certain elements, like with, you know, that one boss, if we could have all had fire protection, we would have then maybe not even needed bar fire. We could have just tanked it out. And here is another example of where, oh my gosh, did I make this fight way harder than it needed to be. And I then thought, okay, maybe I'm not like doing it efficiently, but like we're getting good experience for all these little extra hop tile people. But no, the problem is that thing summons more hop tiles, and we don't get experience for all these little hop tiles that are summoned. We only get the EXP for the initial fight, which was 3 hop tiles and this big box fella, right? But what we needed to do was destroy the big box fella, because he makes all these little hop tile creatures so dangerous. He gives them every single buff in the game. Now they're still quick to melt through with magic, but look at this, they're just doing so much damage, and then the more times you like destroy more of them, he just summons 4 more. So it's again, we're having people drop And it's just that mantra of, oh yeah, I'm on max stats, I'm going to be grand. This game will kick you in the butt if you are not properly doing the fights to the best way you're supposed to do the fights. And this being, you fight the box man and you don't let him buff all your little creatures. And so we're literally like taking 500 damage from these little hostile people. And we're literally like, Hope, please, I just need you to keep yourself alive at this point. Like, just Hope. And like, this is where I should mention some of the abilities that we've learned, because we learned them off screen. So Cure Asa, C-U-R-A-S-A, that is basically a cure spell that cures more the lower the target's hit points are. But the higher the hit points they have, it heals less. So you'll see him using Cure when he's kind of in the middling of HP, and Curasa when he's very, very low. And that can kind of, it'll be like Curasa, Cure, because the Curasa will do huge healing, and then he can cure normally for the rest of his inputs. Curaja is basically Curasa, but in Cura form. So it's like an AoE Curasa. So I believe only Hope and Vanille learn that version of that spell. So they are some of the best medics. And what I used them was Dispelga. Now Dispelga removes all buffs and debuffs from everyone. And so when we were just having another 6 of these little hostile guys all running in with their max, buffs, and we had no buffs, I had no compunction of just spending the TP just to make them all weaker again. And we rinsed and repeated through these other guys. They're not threatening once they don't have all their buffs. But what you'll see is, I was thinking, oh my god, have I got like 9,000 experience? It's like, no, we got no stars and only 4,000 experience. Like, it's not nothing, but it is not what I thought it would have been.
A Grand Pulse Fal'Cie made this path.
Yep. I bet it's off digging more tunnels right now.
They seem different from all the Fal'Cie we've seen on Cocoon, you know? It's like they just plow through, without caring what happens around them.
That's true. Then again, we were able to build our village on land cleared by Fal'Cie. We lived alongside them, just like you do on Cocoon.
Oh yeah, this is just like Cocoon.
In a world this big, who knows what we'll find.
So we're in the Mah'habara Subterra. We finally get a little title card for here. And basically, yeah, we have new merchants available as well. It's after telling us that, or new merchandise rather. And then we're just moving along and just putting together a different type of paradigm. And just doing more crystallogen progress. Because what you'll notice is Lightning didn't get a level of Synergist until she learned an ability from Synergist. But now that she knows Bravery, she can basically paradigm shift into Synergist, but she'll only be able to cast Bravery. So that's the kind of weakness with these weaker commandos. But what you're looking for more so is the class buff. Like Commando gives the player bonus damage. The Sentinel gives the player bonus defense, like all the characters. So the fact that like you can have Hope, Vanille, and Lightning all as commandos, even if Vanille and Hope are only going to ever be using Ruin because like their magic stats so crazy high, the fact that they're able to use Ruin, they're going to be doing strong magic damage anyway, and they're going to be getting triple commando damage bonus. They'll actually have such higher damage per second than just having them stick on Ravager, just because you're like, oh well, I can't move them to commando, so they can't do ruin abilities. But that's a little side note. The main point is we're upgrading our stuff, and what I would have been using was the materials that, like, you know, the solenoid, things like that. I would have just, or bomb cores even, or just various different things. The analog circuits more so. I would have been selling the analog circuits because they don't give that much EXP, and using the money to then buy your 99 sturdy bones to get the multiplier up really high again, to then use your bomb cores, your bomb ashes, your solenoids to just boost up the EXP on all these different items. And once again, guys, we've reached the end of our episode, basically. But I just want to thank you guys for supporting the series. Leave a like and a comment on what you thought of these fights. I feel like the title for this should be, you know, your maxing Crystarium doesn't make everything. You know, having good stats doesn't negate the fact that you need to be clever with your paradigms, clever with your party composition, clever with everything else. You know, brute forcing it can only go so far. But we're just going to make a quick save here. That's going to be our episode. Talk to you soon.